People's Keisha Prince here. Today I'm going to talk about jumping from non-league to pros overseas. Now the question that I have to ask, can this jump be done? And the answer is yes, it can be done. So to all those players playing non-league between step 1 to about step 5, playing first team football, and you've been rejected by clubs, or clubs have said you're not ready to go any higher level, and you want to have the desire to go and become a professional footballer, then you need to make sure that your passport is in date, because you need to look at how can you then take your talents overseas. But before I even get you excited, I have to be real, because I've done it myself. I've gone and played from Tower Hamlets to play with El Cocon, Fuenlabrada, CD Marina in Spain. That's Segunda 2, Treca division, and I think the division below that, if I'm not mistaken. And I've also played in Australia. Let me not give you the false hope to say that it's going to be easy, because every country has its foundation. So a lot of times people have this mindset from England that I can go overseas easy because I played National League or I played non-league, whatever, and I'm 20 and I played over a certain experience. Like, over them countries, I'm going to name a few, their technical foundation is so more solid than us. The only thing that we have over most nations is a physical prowess. In some countries, France is hard, all right, because when you go lower divisions, there's a lot of African footballers, and they are tough. In the French National 3 and National 2, them leagues are not easy. You gotta have a mixture between technical and physical to go over there, but more or less you have to have a sound technical base. Because I see a lot of players say, yeah, I can go overseas and play here. Listen, it's not that so I want to just make sure you understand that if you're going to go overseas, that you need to make sure that you have a good technical base and you have a good tactical understanding, along with other things. Number 2 is that you must sign with a pro team that's going to be able to provide accommodation and food. I made a error of signing with a dead agency. I don't want to mention a name just to give them some sort of recognition, but they got me a team over in Australia, and literally I only had accommodation for 1 month, and I had to be literally playing football at the same time and finding accommodation at the same time. It was just crazy, especially in a country that you're not familiar with. It ain't the one, and I don't recommend that sort of route. You got to make sure that accommodation is agreed, and they provide minimum food, because the money that you're going to get to these leagues, I'm going to tell you, they're not going to be paying the Benzema money. Number 3, you must have a tough mentality, because a lot of British boys have gone overseas with this mentality like, yeah, I could do it, and you're soft. You understand? You need to be tough mentally. If you're not mentally tough, like you're not very independent, and you're very strong-willed, do not even board the plane, because you'll break down rocking in a corner by yourself. I've seen guys go overseas and mash up themselves. You understand? You've got to be tough. Thank God that I was able to go overseas, and that was not the case. Of course, I missed my family, but I was focused mentally. I was, when you go through certain things in life, it will build that good foundation. So if you've always been silver spoon, mommy wiping your backside and then something there, don't bother, because when the reality is when you go overseas and you don't have mommy cooking for you and stuff like that, you're going to be hit with the reality. Okay, that's just the facts. And the next one, as I lean onto that, you have to have life skills. You can't just depend on them people bringing you food and stuff like that. You got to be able, with the money you get, whether it's 500 euros a month, to be able to know how to cook chicken, get the greens. When I went to Spain initially, but I bought over my cornmeal. I knew how to make a whole lot of Caribbean dishes to make my body fuel, because I don't like the something that they was giving me all the time. I was yamming chicken, knew how to cook it, season it properly. You need to learn them things before you go overseas. I'm telling you, because if you don't, all this stuff is going to plague you. Yeah. And yes, some academies do a good job in teaching you this, but you need to do a crash course before you leave to go overseas if you're gonna basically live by yourself. And another one is you need to humble yourself and understand that yes, you're coming from England, which is put down as the best league in the world for entertainment, but you don't know, because a lot of British people, they have this mentality that we're the best, and they don't, attitude's a problem. And I've noticed this. You need to humble yourself and check your attitude, because these guys overseas, they will drop you. I remember a man who went overseas and he got dismissed by a WhatsApp text message because this guy's attitude stunk. Yeah, so let me drop through these leagues quickly where you can potentially blow off to, that are open for UK talent. And I think just on a general, based on your ability, that you have the skill, you have the experience, these are the leagues that I can recommend. Number one is Romania League 3. Romania League 3, when I was at my former agency and company, there was a lot of players that was able to go there to La Liga 3 to play in Romania, and it's a good step for you to get a pro. You're playing full-time football, and as well that they do the whole treatment, everything, and you can jump as well. So you're 2 leagues below a Europa League, Champions League team, and there's guys that's gone from the Liga 3 and have jumped to Liga 1, but it's a very big politics over in Romania. So if you have a bad name in Liga 3, whether you're cheating, the manager's wrong or whatever, the whole league and his mother will know about you and you will get blacklisted. I've seen players get blacklisted because they've done some foolishness. So it's a great league to jump, but you got to conduct yourself because the Romanians are tight. Next league, Serie D. Serie D. I was going to say C, but I'll say D. The reason why is because when you go to C, you're getting a mixture of a really high caliber players. Serie D, we had a great opportunity of sending some boys over to Serie D. I think it was a year ago, if I'm not mistaken, and they did really well on the trial. And there's an opportunity for you also go to a Serie C, depending on what level or budget they have. But Serie D from National League is doable. Again, very technical base. Physically, you should be able to compete with them, and they are very strong as well. Don't get twisted. But you need to have a very sound technical base when you go into Serie D. Okay, the club is doable. Pro contract. That's another opportunity. Next one is Spain's, I'll say fourth division, the Treca division. The reason why I was going to say the 3rd division, but we have to give Spain the dues. It's not easy. When you're going to the step 4 in Spain, you're literally playing against, Real Sociedad B, for example. They're playing against their B team. I had a great opportunity to play against Atletico Madrid's B team, Celta Vigo's B team. I was able to see some of the players are playing today, and the level of gravy that they are playing with is just too much. We're just not ready as English people to go over there and compete any higher. If you have the technical ability, then fair dues, then you can probably jump. But again, I'll say if you're coming from the non-league step 4 in Spain, where again it's a pro football, accommodation, everything's paid for, you can go there. And you can jump as well. There's players that jump from 4th division straight to La Liga, and it's very much like that in Spain, which I love about those countries. There's no ceiling, whereas England, there's ceilings. Even though there's players that's tired, right back is 39, but these idiot National League coaches, some of them are playing these man, saying, oh, he's got experience. But you got a right back that's fresh, 19, 20 years old, he's got experience because he's played at a good pro level. Play him. But you want to play your brethren because you don't want to miss out on beers. And that's the reality. I'm not going to hold my mouth, and that's how it's going to be. Next one is Germany, the German Liga 3 and step Liga 4. That's also a very good league to get into. Again, you got to make sure it's a pro club and not a semi-pro club, because there's some clubs in those league steps that do not or are not full-time. The reason why is there's players that went over there in Germany, which was sent, and the agent that sent them over there didn't pattern up the accommodation, and they had to work. And I was really sorry for them, because I know how it is, because I've done that before. When I've gone initially, when I went to Australia with the first team, I had to do part-time work because I had to then make extra money. It's not easy, so that's why I'm trying to give you guys the warning. Now there is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other leagues and other information I want to give to you, but I'll leave that to part 2.